comment on a number of things that he felt that weren't delineated in this budget from previous board direction. One that I point to is the teeter fund. I felt that the executive office would need to bring us, given past board direction, something that would at least cover that $1 million figure on the interest being added for this fiscal year. Now, what's being proposed is only $200,000, and I don't think that gets us where we need to go. I think that, you know, my target, and I think that I stated it last time, was that we need to meet that million mark. In other words, we need to find 800,000 more in this fiscal year to address that issue. That still doesn't really get us on top of the teeter. It doesn't get any great payoff on that debt of $11 million, but I think it takes us more towards where we need to go. I mean, this, you know, if we're looking at where it's been in the last 2 or 3 years, it's escalated significantly, and I think that we need to get a handle on this, and we need to start doing the difficult work this budget year. So I don't agree with you, Supervisor Pinches, that things are fine now. Yes, next year is going to be tough, and boy, we're going to have to really get to it and do it, but this year we have a balanced budget. I just don't see it that way. I don't think that we should be borrowing from the Land Use Closure Fund. County Council said, yes, you technically can do it, hence the number is up there, but she doesn't recommend it. The department head doesn't recommend it. So I think that we have professionals in place that are giving us advice on a $186,000 figure here that isn't prudent to go down that path. So I really wouldn't support going down that path. And I think that we also need to look for, we need to address that 800,000 shortfall, if you will, from prior board direction and intention 1 calendar year ago that said we want to deal with it in that manner. So I think, in essence, we still need to look for $1 million, because the way I perceive the budget, we have a number of significant shortfalls. We may not all agree exactly what categories they're in, but I think that we do have a number of shortfalls that, with just rearranging the deck chairs, we're coming up with a balanced budget. And I just don't think it cuts it. I don't think it's a responsible act. I can't support it in this present form, and I think that we need to do. The executive office needs to bring us significant, concrete proposals in how we handle this. And, you know, I think that there should be options, and I think we should have already had a number of them, because I think that that's where we need to go for being a fiscally sound operating entity. And I just don't think we're there yet. Thank you.
Supervisor Pinches?
To meet your proposal is $800,000 more for teeter and doing away with the solid waste contribution. That's about $1.1 million, $1.2 million. Where would you propose? We've laid off or done away with 57 positions. So to come up with $1.1 million, where would you propose this coming from? Well, I mean, it's easy to say we need to come up with more money. I agree with that, but where?
Well,
or what fees? You know, what revenues you're going to increase?
Oh, I think we can do that too. I think there are a number of things
I'd like
that we
to
can
hear.
do. I just mentioned the franchise fees. If they were what the cities are, we could gross what I've got, and it's very rough figures, $330,000 additional dollars from that. That's one action. But on the expenditure side, I think we have to bring some dollars down, because, as everyone has said, economic development and other types of fee enhancements or ways we can grow revenue is going to take time, and that needs to be well thought out. We need to get community support. We need to get a lot of people at the table, but we also need to show on the expenditure side that we're doing our part to lower the expenditure side. So I think that that's the kind of teamwork that needs to happen. It's the public-private partnership aspects that we're trying to deal with, I think, both in a philosophical way, hopefully, and also in a tangible, concrete way, vis-a-vis the things that Mr. Mitchell mentioned. But, you know, we've got a number of things. I mean, work furloughs, layoffs, none of these things are going to make anyone popular. No one wants to suggest them. Another one that I gave as a suggestion is that, and they're looking at it in the city of Santa Rosa, anyone making over $100,000 a year would experience some reductions in salary. Those are the people that can most afford it. I mean, there are any number. Looking at the travel things, like you're saying, not the ones that are affecting grants and funds that come from outside the county, but if it's direct general fund contributions for travel, maybe we could pick up $50,000 in that arena, let's just say. So I think that we need to get to work on all of these things. I can't tell you exactly where I think all the dollars should come from, but there are a number of scenarios. And I think that we need to get going very quickly. And we really should have already had this information, because we're in the final budget process. That's one of my points. And I think that you know, we should have had this information sooner, so the board would have 3 or 4 avenues of reduction in expenditure to try to deal with it. At the same time, we're looking at entertaining, as an example, the increase in franchise fees. All that would do is meet what the cities are already doing. The cities are already doing 12%. We should be on to that. That's a direct thing that the solid waste division needs to offset general fund expenditures, and we ought to get going with it.
To talk about this franchise fee issue, first of all, I don't believe that the revenues coming for our franchise fees are going to stay what they are anyway, because 10 years ago it was called trash. Now it's called recyclable. It's worth money. It's not getting diverted to the landfill. Most of your recyclables are taken out before they even get to the garbage collector. So your total volume is going to go down, so that's going to affect your franchise fees even at the 7%. So I don't think that's a way to increase revenue. We're going to be doing good to hold that own. But, you know, I mean, I guess there's a lot of things we can do to further cuts. I mean, we can wipe out departments. We can do away with building and planning services, which is whatever the general fund contribution in Fort Bragg. I guess there's options out there. I just feel that, you know, we're a service organization. People pay their taxes hoping to get service. And I think